Okay, we'll continue now with Pasuk Gimel. And so the first thing we're going to do is translate the Pasuk. As you can see, it's going to be divided into three sections. So the Pasuk reads, Ish imo ve'aviv tirau. A person should have respect for his mother and his father. Ve'ed shabtotai tishmoru. And you should keep my Shabbat. Ani Hashem Elokeichem. I am Hashem, your God. So let's put it now to the notes. A person should respect his mother and his father and keep my Shabbatot. I am Hashem, your God. Okay, so that's what the Pasuk is telling us. So, to understand the Pasuk properly, we have to figure out that there's three basic ideas that are mentioned in this Pasuk. So the Pasuk is mentioning these three different ideas, that we should respect parents, we should keep Shabbat, and I am Hashem, your God. So we need to understand why those three ideas are mentioned in the Pasuk. So the Rashi explains that although respecting parents is an important mitzvah, however, if a parent tells the child to break Shabbat or break any mitzvah, any other law, a child should not listen. In other words, there is a limit to the respect that is due to parents. It's not unlimited. It's not no matter what. So again, although it is a mitzvah to respect your parents, the Torah is putting a limit. It's telling us that if a parent tells a child to do something that is against the law, then Ani Hashem Elokeichem, I am Hashem, your God, meaning I'm above everything else. Parent does not have unlimited authority over a child. No person does, not a teacher, not a rabbi, not anybody. So this is why it mentions I am Hashem in the same Pasuk, to teach us that if a parent tells a child to break Shabbat or any mitzvah, then the child is not expected to respect the parent. In fact, may not respect the parent. Okay, so now we're going to speak a little bit about understanding what is this mitzvah of Ish imo ve'aviv tirau. So we know that the word ira means also fear. It also means respect. So unfortunately, this pasuk is sometimes translated as a person should fear his parents. And the truth is that that's not correct, because the verb ira does not always, right? But does not only mean to fear, it means also to, as the Gemara explains, to respect. So the Gemara shows that in this case, this is what the verb means. There is no requirement to fear that you should be afraid of your parent. That's not healthy. That's not what the Torah says. Rather, what it means is to respect the parent. So to understand a little bit more what it means to respect a parent, so we're going to take a look at the Sefer HaChinuch, which is a book that explains every mitzvah in the order in which they appear in the Torah. This mitzvah happens to be mitzvah number 212. And this is what it says. The commandment of the reverence, which is respect of a father and mother, is to be in reverence from parents, meaning to say that a person act with his mother and his father as he would with someone who he has reverence. That you should regard your parent as somebody who is important, that you revere, that you have you're in awe of that person. And this is what is stated here in Leviticus, the Sefer Vayikra, which was read the Pasuk. His mother and father a man shall revere. So that's what it means, that you should look at your parent, you should look up to your parent. To respect someone, to revere someone means to look up to someone, to be in awe of that person, to look at that person as someone who is awesome. And the language of the Sifra, which is a book written by the Chachamim that explains the Torah. It's the Midrash Halacha. In section 110, which is also mentioned in the Gemara explains what is reverence. So the way we show reverence or respect to parents is by not sitting in his place. Meaning, if your parent has a special chair where they sit during the dinner, or let's say at an office they have a special chair because they are, in charge of a company, right? So we don't sit in their spot. If there is a special spot, if it's just random, then yeah, just because your parents are there once doesn't mean you can sit there. But if they have a steady set place where they sit in the Beit HaKnesset or at the dining room table and so forth, you shouldn't sit there. So too, he shall not speak in their place. That means, let's say somebody comes to your house and is selling something to your parents, or is trying to get an approval for something. So they're asking your parent. It's not right for a child to say, yes, it's okay, or do it this way, meaning that's what it means to speak in their place. You're stepping into their position and taking care of that. That's not correct. And also, he shall not contradict his words, meaning, let's say that your parent says something and they're misinformed, they're wrong, they made a mistake about what they said, or something about current events or math or Jewish law, whatever it is. So you shouldn't say you're wrong to your parent. Rather, you should say, well, I heard that, or I learned that it's this way. You do it gently. You don't outright say you're wrong. That would be disrespectful. Okay? So if you look at this, these examples basically have to do with the following concept. By sitting in their place, by speaking in their place, you're saying basically that your parent does not have a special place in the family unit. That you're equal to your parent. You can sit where they sit. You can represent them, right, without their permission. You contradict them, meaning I know as much as you do. So the common element is that you are taking away their special status within the family. And what you want to do is the opposite. You want to show respect by saying, no, my parent has a special place, not just a physical place, but also in the family structure. And therefore, I don't sit in their place. I don't speak on their behalf. I don't say you are wrong. I do it in a gentle way in order to show that I respect my parent. Okay? So that's the mitzvah of ira, of respect, of reverence to a parent. Now, we know from the Ten Commandments that there's another mitzvah that applies to the parents, and that is mentioned in Ten Commandments. The pasuk says, Kaved et avicha v'et imecha, which means honor your father and your mother. So I don't know if you ever thought about what's the difference between respect and honor. Maybe in English they're kind of similar, but the truth is that they are referred to different things. Kavod, when the pasuk says in the Ten Commandments, kavod to your parent, which is different than ira we just learned about, is shown in a different way. Kavod is by, for example, assisting your parent. Let's say your parent needs a drink, you bring a parent a drink, or your parent is walking through the door and you hold the door open for them. Or your parent is putting on a coat and you help them with the coat. So kavod is more like in the positive. It's things that we do for them in order to make them comfortable. As opposed to ira, which is things that we avoid doing because we don't want to lower the status of the parent. We don't want to sit in their place. We don't want to speak on their behalf. We don't want to contradict them because we want to we want to show that we recognize and appreciate the special status that the parent has in our family. So that's the difference between kavod and ira. Kavod refers to assisting, to providing things from our parents when they need to, and ira refers to the things that we avoid doing in order to avoid lowering the parent. Okay.